Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Online, and Devin and I are continuing the Middara series. We just got done doing the only bounty in the game. It was rough.
Rough shit.
It was not worth it. Not worth the headache that I think that it was causing. I think it's also kind of because that it was a boss, just like the other bosses we fought, but there was no story implication to any of it. It was just kind of like, eh. Yeah. And we elected to give Nightingale the Brute Serum, because why not? She just brutes it up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a strength of 7, and hers is 2, so it's a massive increase. Extra hit points, because she uses so many hit points. So
she's at, that's true, so she's at 24.
And then what was the other effect?
Teal Conviction upgrade, so now she has a teal and white Conviction upgrade. And we went shopping! Like, kind of... We're trying to get Hyde to where he can at least do some consistent damage.
Yeah.
I ended up selling the crossbow and stuff because I'm gonna end up going and getting a repeating crossbow, but that costs quite a bit of money. But we did get him garter knives, so he has a little like thigh thong around it. And I have 3 throwing knives, so the garter knives. When you use throwing knives, they flip instead, and at the start of each encounter, I may unflip all of them that I control.
Nice.
So yeah, that's purple die of damage. That's consistent damage.
Yep, we love it.
And then I actually tried to diversify him a little bit with Remy, because they're both martial and subterfuge. So I got him Nirvana's Mark, so now he has an increase in health. So I think that puts him at 20. 12 plus 6 is 18. Yeah, so he has 20 health now. And as a status, he just healed 1.
Nice.
So those were the upgrades that I got. Oh, and Nightingale. Yeah, Nightingale's now fucking disgusting.
She's got a beast.
So we got her the Chained Grimoire of Perdition. It increases her casting upgrade to a gray. And after resolving a spell you cast, so long as that spell didn't have the per encounter or flip condition, cast the same spell again. And then as an exhaust, after a spell you cast successfully affects an opponent, spend 1 SP to deal 2 magic damage to all figures within SOI.
Yeah.
So, that actually makes her heavy.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So
heavy was -1 movement?
Yeah, but you can ignore current.
Okay. So that puts her at 6. Puts her at 5. So now her movement's 5.
Let's respec Rook to Cruor. Just have a couple of Cruors. Right. Who needs healing when you can kill?
You can just when you wipe them. But we gave her. I actually went a little bit more into assemblage. She has the 2 story assemblages ones, but now I have her Euthanasia. Cast a spell 6, inflict wilt, and then deal 6 magic damage. Then, if the target was already inflicted with wilt, inflict condemn. If they were already inflicted with both condemn and wilt, roll the black die on a skull. The target is defeated.
It's fucking hot.
So with the Chained Grimoire of Perdition, I can cast Euthanasia. If they fail, inflict wilt, flip it to cast it again, and then if they fail, then they would get condemned.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's a flip. So that's...
But the flip on this side is that any time I may spend 3 SP to unflip this card.
Oh.
So if the other weapon you have equipped is a spellcraft weapon, so I need to get another spellcraft, reduce the SP to unflip this card by 1. So if I get another spellcraft, this would actually only cost 2 to unflip.
Nice.
So yeah, that's just kind of like... I mean, that's just a good combo for Euthanasia, but I can do Bring the Shadows again, I can do Life Grasp again, I can do Gore Shot again. So, yeah. She just buffed in both conviction and casting.
Nice.
We didn't do anything for Remy, I don't think.
She fucking sold the boss, so she's tough.
She is...
she's got so many rerolls and then free attacks and shit.
Right.
She's just nasty.
Right. It's kind of like we take turns, because she got upgraded pretty great.
And that was free, so that was so nice.
Was that from Eiling's thing?
Yeah, there was just like a loot, and it's like, oh, you find her pack. Pick an uncommon weapon that you want.
That's right. That is right. So, and then Rook, I think we actually gave him some stuff that Nightingale had.
Yeah, so he's got the helmet and gauntlet. So I reduced his max health a little bit, but now he can ignore 1 count of death, and he has a increased SOI with the Hemlock and Seer, so he can heal people and give out intervention tokens at a greater range.
Yep. And then a bunch of consumables for him.
Yep, bunch of consumables to help the party.
Yeah, so 2 magic bombs with him, and then you gave...
a magic bomb to her, too.
Yeah.
Because, that fucking poison is he sucked
it
last
basically,
round.
the boss for the bounty, it did exactly what it was supposed to. Just diseases you, and then poisons you, and then that kills you. Because it's like, well, not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the closest we had to a actual defeat. If Remy got hit on both the turns, I think it would have wiped her as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was one of those things. But now we are doing the main quest, the Hyde Estate.
Main quest, the Hyde Estate. The Hyde Estate stood at the highest point of the city, standing apart from many of the other structures thanks to a high stone wall around it. In every other way, it looked identical to the other larger structures, its stone walls coated with the same grime that covered everything else. Unfortunately, the gate was shut when they approached. A pair of guards stood on either side. They didn't look threatening so much as bored, watching the mostly empty streets and conversing quietly. "You sure you don't want to tell them who we are?" Zeke asked, meeting Nightingale's eyes. "Tell a few guards they have a princess waiting and we'll be inside in minutes." Nightingale slipped past him, advancing on the door. "And risk Balthazar or Yoon getting word of where we went?"
Nightingale. And risk Balthazar. Nightingale, I don't like when you're juicing. You're mean.
"After Romstead, I think I'll pass, thanks." A few more steps and she was at the gates. The guards snapped to attention at her approach. Their conversation hastily ended. "Excuse me." She folded her arms. "My friends and I need to see Elias Hyde." "I'm afraid you won't be doing that, miss." The guard on her right leaned on his spear, squinting at her from inside the helmet. "The Hyde's orders are firm. Unless you've been sent for, you can't cross this threshold." Zeke stepped up beside her, smiling politely at them. "How do you know they aren't waiting for us in there right now?" Nightingale glanced over at Zeke as anxiety began to rise in the back of her mind. He threw her a look that instantly told her that Zeke was going to just wing it. In other words, Zeke wanted to lie his way in. Sure, Nightingale could do that. Maybe.
Okay, so we need to make a skill check.
Ooh.
Make a combined presence 45 check with the active group. But did you know that it's possible to have more than 4 party members at this point in the story? Even if you have more than 4, we only roll using the active group.
It's possible to have more than 4 right now?
Apparently, yeah. Well, maybe Patrick, if he was still with us.
Maybe.
And maybe a few other people. I don't know.
Okay.
So, I was trying to find out how this works, because it says combined presence 45 checks. So my presence for Nightingale and Zeke combined is 8.
Yeah. 8. I've got 3.
So 11.
4.
So 15.
15.
So 15. My thought process, since it's
We each
45,
roll
I think we each
2
roll
dice.
2 and then add
Yeah.
between our 4.
Okay, so...
So we have 15 right now.
Okay.
So Nightingale, that's 9, so we're at 21.
Okay.
And Zeke is 27.
Okay. 7. Okay.
28, so 30, 27, 8, 35.
35. So I need with him
10.
10. The pressure. Do I get any rerolls for this?
No, I don't think so.
Got it!
Boom, 12. Whoo, barely. Like, we're all like flubbering over like our senses, and Rook's like, he just stands up behind us. I think he'll let us in. Alright. Success! Each party member gains 1 XP.
Oh, fucking A, dog.
Barely. So that puts Zeke at 1 now, and then Nightingale and the rest of them at 3.
Nice.
So 3. Okay. And then we advance to Smooth Talker.
Smooth Talker. Zeke stood a little taller, adopting his best imitation of his mother's regal bearing. He lowered his voice, as though sharing a secret with these guards. We both know Elias is waiting for outside help. If the difficulties could be resolved by the guards, you would have solved this already. Not to discount the valor of your men, Rook added from behind him. We've encountered many threats on the trail, but the town remains secure. That's an admirable accomplishment. The guards exchanged a nervous glance, and Zeke didn't give them a chance to collect themselves. What you're looking at is a team of seasoned adventurers from the city of Alinea. Adventurers who would love to help. From the city of Alinea? One of the guards shared a look with the other. Apologies. We hadn't expected you to arrive so quickly. One of the guards turned away, banging his spear a few times on the gate. The help from the capital has arrived. Open the gate. Zeke fought back a grin as guards retracted thick metal bars, letting them into the estate. He threw a look at Nightingale, and as they walked through the gates, she whispered, "You got lucky." Just loud enough for him to hear. The Hyde estate was easily the largest structure in Hyde, though the gardens themselves seemed more practical than ornamental. The gray trees looked like they would give shade, and maybe bear some kind of fruit, but they weren't particularly nice to look at. There were no bars on the windows like there were in the Moretti estate. Instead, there was a wide set of double doors, big enough that the whole town might rush inside if they needed to. Mr. Hyde didn't expect you to arrive before hearing back from Alinea, the guard explained as they made their way to a side door. They were brought to a sparse but comfortable sitting room, though the tables were bare and there was no fire going in the hearth. "So we're the help that was sent for," Nightingale whispered, lifting a slim finger towards a balcony running around the top of the room. "I guess we are." Zeke watched as the guards stirred into a frenzy of activity by their arrival. "What's the plan?" Remy interrupted in a low whisper. "At this point," Zeke took a deep breath, "we've got to run with it. We say Alinea sent us to help with whatever's happening. Little town like this, it can't be that hard. We help them through it, and they'll be sure to give us any information we need." The doors banged open, and two men came striding in. "Elias Hyde?" Zeke said as they approached the group. Indeed. The older looking of the two wore dark, elegant clothing. A large scar ran down the right side of his face, leaving his eye cloudy and most likely sightless. His other eye was a brilliant red, and looked at them sharply. His legs ended not in feet but with hooves, a byproduct of the advancement, no doubt. Elias gestured for them to be seated, then sat himself. He looked worn despite his regal bearing. He was followed by another individual who straddled one of the stiff wooden seats the wrong way and never took his eyes off them.
Oh, he's so cool.
The younger man had a more
Set
muscular
reverse.
build and wore an open jacket in deep purple and black.
Oh, informal. I trust
It was
him.
hard to miss the resemblance between the two. His eyes were the same red as Elias's, though he lacked the hooves. "I had been growing desperate for a response," Elias eventually said, folding his arms across his lap. "We had hoped to contain the blight when we saw its first signs. We've been waiting for your arrival for so long. I'm afraid the situation has deteriorated." Elias reached into a vest pocket and drew out a weighty pouch of gold. He tossed it to Zeke, who caught it reflexively. "Payment for your discretion, as promised." Zeke felt Nightingale tense on the couch beside him. Zeke cleared his throat in an attempt to recover from his surprise at the gift.
Be on our way.
"We understand your situation is quite desperate." "You can say so." Elias sunk into a seat, the color draining from his face. "My wife, Rivka.
My wife.
God. I don't
My
know.
wife.
I'll explain, Father." The young man rested one arm on his father's shoulder. "If you're certain you want to share it." Elias nodded. "Yes, Damocles. Tell them."
Ew!
A blighted guardian penetrated the city's defenses. It slipped into the estate and attacked in the middle of the night, Damocles said. "One of the guards fell before my mother arrived and destroyed it." He paused, glancing once in the direction where
We
many
fight
of the
another
guards
one.
were gathering. His
Oh,
words
yeah, I
came
guess so.
slowly. "Unfortunately, she was bitten in the fight. Everything seemed fine until..." He struggled to continue. "She was infected," Rook supplied. "She's changing into one of them, isn't she?" The group turned to look at Rook, happy that he knew what the blight was. Rook continued, seeing that his friends had no idea. "The blight. It's supposed to be incurable. Once infected, An individual will slowly turn into an abomination. A cure hasn't been discovered. That doesn't mean there isn't one. Elias glared at them. I haven't called you here to tell me what I already know. Rook immediately went silent. No, of course not. Zeke kept his voice low, not making eye contact. Respectfully, he hoped. Then he took a chance and assumed that the real help was summoned without many details. Why are we here exactly? Elias raised an eyebrow and then spoke. You fought these creatures before. Princess Shalis of Alinea has told us that you are the experts on these creatures. Once an individual succumbs to the blight, they're mindless. I've heard they're as dumb as rocks. One of them couldn't sneak past city guards and through gates into the city at night. It would have attacked the first person it saw.
Please.
There's
Yep.
no way it could have made its way into the
Jesus.
mansion by itself. I'm asking you to help discover how this happened. Zeke nodded with a blank expression. Right. Elias shared a look with his son, then explained further. We've investigated the grounds with no success so far. There was an incident just a few days before that might be connected. An explosion in the mines. We haven't had a fatal accident in 3 decades, and it comes only days before the blight attacks? He shook his head. No, it doesn't feel like a coincidence. Zeke bumped into Nightingale briefly with his knee under the table, meeting her eyes. She nodded, and he looked back to Elias. We'll investigate the explosion, Nightingale said as she stood. Is your wife? Elias rose as well, and his voice was like steel. Rivka is still alive. Her fate is no concern of yours. That is a family matter. You should be concerned that someone tried to assassinate me, the king's appointed duke. I have served Balthazar faithfully. I helped him explore these wildlands before this town even existed. I feel that I am owed some assistance. Of course you are, and you'll have it, Nightingale nodded confidently, though she was a little more subdued than usual. My son will accompany you into the mines. Elias put a hand on the man's back. He can grant you any sort of clearance you might require. Come with me. Damocles strode towards the door. We don't have time to waste.
Alright, so he's gonna turn on us.
Totally.
Like, 100%. Those are demons behind him.
Yeah, he looks pretty evil.
Hey, we got 100 gold?
Sweet!
Party gains 100
We
gold.
were just stressing about money. It's like,
I know.
Here's 100.
We're like, oh, hell yeah. So, we continue to tell me the truth. So, 194.
Should I get that shield now?
Huh?
Get that shield now.
That's true. That's true. You certainly can. Okay. No pictures. No pictures here. But where is it? There. Tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth. The streets of Hyde were deserted this late at night. Its hard-working populace either asleep or entertaining themselves in Hyde's many taverns. The stone houses lining the street were mostly dark, shutters closed and windows reflecting the gentle moonlight. Nightingale couldn't help but appreciate just how bright the stars could be on a night like this, so high up. She sometimes looked for familiar constellations she remembered from Earth, but of course she never found them. After making their way down a secluded alley, Damocles turned on her with a very angry-looking expression.
Damocles turned on her. Cuts her throat. Just, oh, well, that was quick.
So, who are you really? What? Nightingale stammered and looked to Zeke for some kind of help. Before he could speak to defend her, Damocles interjected. I researched the help that was being sent from Alinea days ago. It's a well-known pirate crew led by a fearsome giant named Kajax. Damocles looked directly at Nightingale and took a step towards her and looked down at the small
Oh, I forgot
girl.
to take my serum. Hold on.
You look like I could sneeze and accidentally kill you. The man looked behind her at the others. And you bunch past for a hard seafaring crew as easily as you could be experts on the blight.
You better say bless you if you're gonna try.
Bless you.
Eyes just roll back. Roll black, the black ichor like fate like covers, and she's just like, I fucking snaps his neck with her thumb. We kind of needed him, Nightingale.
It's obvious that you had no idea what my dad was talking about.
Not even a clue.
Rook moved his hand to his weapon, afraid that things might escalate. Damocles' eyes flashed in his direction, noticing the subtle movement of his hand. Quick to defend your girlfriend?
Oh.
Watch yourself, big guy. This is my town, and I'll do what it takes to protect it. Damocles shoved past Nightingale and stood defiantly against Rook. Even though the man towered above him, he looked unfazed by Rook's size. Stop it! Nightingale moved to put herself between the two. We're on the same team. Damocles didn't look convinced. If we're on the same team, then tell me the truth, girl. I'm Princess Nightingale Arson, second princess of Alenia, daughter of King Balthazar. Damocles stood stunned for a moment, then laughed. Really? Nightingale now looked up at him defiantly. Yeah.
Does no one know what she looks like?
She just came to the world.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I kind of understand that. Because we only just recently entered this universe.
I guess so. I guess this is kind of odd that it's like...
I mean, I guess we were training for however many months.
Yeah, but this is kind of weird that it's like, oh, I'm the princess, and I've not done a single princess duty.
Yeah.
I just went through school.
This is my knight, Rook Lars. He's just trying to protect me.
Doing a
Damocles smiled,
piss poor
showing
job of
teeth.
it.
Okay, princess. Why didn't you say so earlier then? My father is good friends with Balthazar. He's the appointed duke, you know. Nightingale got a quick nod from Zeke, then reluctantly spoke. We're not supposed to be here. Balthazar doesn't know about any of this. Is that so? Damocles folded his arms. It would be strange that a princess would be anywhere as remote as Hyde. We're just a mining town. I'd appreciate it if you'd put aside the trickery next time, princess. My father is so eager for Balthazar's assistance, he's willing to see it even when it hasn't come. Damocles sighed, then stretched, looking out into the streets of Hyde. Honestly, so long as you're willing to help me with our problems, I don't care what else you're up to here. He looked them over again, as though searching for clues. If you didn't come to help, though, then what are you really doing in Hyde? We're searching for a Theodosian mage, Rook said.
Theodosian.
Our investigation had led us to believe one passed through recently. Theodosian mage? Doesn't sound that important. Damocles shrugged. I don't have a clue what that is anyway. Some kind of magic, I'm guessing? Rook nodded. Rare and incredibly destructive. Most information about it has been lost over the years, so we can't tell you much more. Damocles started walking again. If you mean the collapse an entire mine shaft sort of destructive, we're already on the way to meet someone like that. What? Nightingale had a surge of excitement. Even a faint possibility that their objective was in sight brought a flood of relief. You know where they are? Our only clue to the attack was the accident my father mentioned. Not the sort of accident we're used to either. The story I heard was so strange, I'm still not sure I believe it. We should probably let the jailer explain.
All right, so now we go to Justice in the Dungeons.
Justice in the dungeons. I wouldn't believe it either, Damocles. The jailer was an overweight man, and his armor could barely contain him. For all that, he seemed energetic enough, and had been happy to receive company. But the evidence is telling. There was no trace of blasting powder, and our scryer found no traces of an Esper either. I'd soon believe a swarm of Fragor had been the ones responsible, except we didn't find any of their corpses either. What's so impossible? Nightingale listened with interest, though occasionally she would glance behind the man to the row of cells that contained only one prisoner. The jailer looked to Damocles for permission to tell these strangers the situation. Damocles nodded. It's all right. You can tell them. They're helping with the investigation. Of course, sir. The jailer gestured to a cell behind him. I don't know how she did it, but somehow she took out a whole damn section of the mine shaft. The explosion was huge. The man held his hands out wide. It was so big that it caused various other sections of the caves to open up. Ones we sealed off a long time ago. Damocles turned to the rest of them. This happened around the same time as my mother being infected. The explosion caused a good portion of our mining operations to come to a halt. We're still trying to figure out which minds have been compromised by creatures and which ones haven't. The jailer shook his head with worry. We think at least 3 people were caught in the blast, though there were only a few pieces left behind. It's hard to be sure. What was she doing in the mines in the first place? Zeke asked with a glance at the small girl huddled in the corner of the cell. No idea. The jailer scratched his head. No tools on her, not so much as a rock pick. Of course, we don't really know how she survived the blast, seeing as she was at the center of it, not to mention how she didn't get eaten by all the things let loose from deeper in the mines. What about the book? Rookin noticed the girl holding a book tightly against her chest. She seemed to be hugging it close to her as if she was taking comfort in its pages. The jailer shook his head. That's where it gets really strange. When we found her, she was hiding, covered in, well, dirt.
Shit.
We cleaned her up
Covered in
and took her
caca.
gear, but we couldn't take that book. What do you mean you couldn't take the book? Damocles had a stupid look on his face, like the man was being incompetent. I mean, we physically couldn't take it. The jailer sounded a bit flabbergasted. It had some kind of magical properties about it. We tried taking it more than once, and each time it ended up back in the cell with her. It even attacked another guard. Didn't do much, but caused a mighty lump on his head, though. Huh? Nightingale shrugged, more intrigued than anything. Doesn't make any damn sense. The jailer lowered his voice to a whisper. Though he spoke only to Damocles, Nightingale could still hear him clearly enough. Frankly, I'm nervous about keeping her here, sir. An explosion that size right here in town might kill 100 people. Damocles nodded. I'd like to speak with her if that's all right. Of course. The jailer rose, removing a large keyring from around his belt, and made his way to the door. You just holler for me if you need any help. We don't have any other prisoners right now, so nobody should bother you. Prisoner, the Duke's son is here to have a chat. You'd best behave yourself. There was no answer. In the back corner of the cell was a girl, shorter than Nightingale, young-looking and mousy with huge blue eyes hidden behind even bigger glasses. She sat on her cot with her back against the wall.
Oh, okay.
One hand resting
I like how
on
they
a
always have the
worn-looking
image
book.
near the
Damocles
where they
stepped up to the
introduce them.
cage and beckoned
Yeah.
to the girl inside. Explain yourself, girl. The girl said nothing and instead just scooted further away. Do you know how many people have been injured by that explosion? Again, the girl said nothing. Instead, she buried her head into the lap where her book was. Damocles seemed to get angrier that she wasn't responding. Are you hearing me? My mother is. Nightingale put a hand on Damocles' shoulder, and he turned to see her shaking her head. She stood on her tippy toes to reach his ear and whispered, Damocles, let me do the talking for a moment, please. Damocles looked like he was going to make a retort, but he instead moved aside. Excuse me. Nightingale stopped right in front of the bars, trying to sound as sympathetic as she could. We need your help. The girl looked up from behind the bar to see Nightingale pressing her face between the bars, her horns only letting her head go so far. My friends and I are in a bit of a predicament that we need help with. Nightingale laughed. Actually, you might be the only one who can help us at all. A long moment of silence occurred, and Nightingale had to shush Damocles more than once before the girl finally spoke. You need help from a murderer? I'm not sure that's what you are. Nightingale pulled over a stool from against the wall and sat down.
Help from a murder.
People die, but that might not make you a murderer. Accidents happen. The prisoner nodded. Her eyes were swollen, and there were streaks through the dirt on her face. I don't like hurting people. I didn't mean to. The girl tensed, one hand suddenly rigid as she gripped the book beside her. What do you need help with? There was fear this time, and she was staring openly at them now. I'm Nightingale. These are my friends Zeke, Remy, and Rook. We've been searching for you. Nightingale could barely contain her nervous energy. What if this girl could save her? The girl hesitated a moment before speaking. I'm Justice Bouchard.
Justice.
The girl turned. I don't think you want my help. People tend to get hurt around me,
Unalived.
and I can't always stop it. People get hurt around you? Is it because of your magic? Rook asked excitedly.
I cut their faces off.
What? How do you know about that? Justice recoiled a bit. You're the only one who can help us, Justice. You're the only one with Theodosian magic. Nightingale took a gamble and hoped that the girl would react to the words.
I don't know what
She
that
did.
is.
It was like Nightingale had flipped a switch. Justice snatched up her book, retreating back into the corner of her cell where she was obscured in shadow. Even so, flickers of light seemed to emerge from its pages, twisting around her fingers. You shouldn't know about that. Nightingale ignored her fear. She'd already made progress with honesty. Might as well finish. There's a monster torturing me, Justice. Every day its grip gets tighter. No matter what I do, it will kill me soon without your help. Justice set down her book, and her voice returned to the timid, nervous tone she'd been using before. What kind of creature? It's called the Maluma. I don't know what it wants. I want you. The haunting voice cut through her mind and made her stop talking. Nightingale gritted her teeth, ignoring the involuntary shiver the voice brought on. But we think we can help you if you can help us. We searched for a cure, Rook explained, his voice calm. The only one we found was an obscure reference to Theodosian magic. Justice slowly climbed to a stand, slinging the book under one arm. She slowly walked all the way to the front of her cell, then looked Nightingale up and down. Maluma? She closed her eyes. I can...
He's the weakest of the demons. Oh, of course.
sense the creature within you. You're telling the truth. Justice shook her head. I don't think I can help you, though. But I might know someone who can.
God damn it!
Excuse me. Damocles cleared his throat. His voice trembled in an audible attempt to keep himself calm. It sounds like your mission is important, but my mother is also dying. You found your answer. Now we need to find the ones responsible for letting that blighted guardian into my family's manor. If this girl doesn't know... For all she'd been timid before, Justice didn't retreat. She eyed Damocles warily. Blighted guardian? I do know. Well, the ones who tried to kill me down in the mines had blighted guardians with them. I don't think the explosion got them all. Damocles seemed too stunned to speak. Nightingale wasn't. What were you doing down there anyway?
Killing people.
Justice hesitated. We were looking for something. I tracked it to the mines, but we weren't the only ones looking. Nightingale wanted to ask what Justice had been looking for, but decided against it. Damocles advanced, forcing her out of the way. We? Who were you down there with? Justice looked like she was about to cry. My friends, or acquaintances anyway. We were ambushed, though. I had to use Theodosian to protect myself. The explosion from my spell is what caused the damage to your minds. One of the men who ambushed you must have got away. The explosion was 2 days before my estate was attacked. Did you see anything? Damocles had both hands on the bars. Nightingale could see him gripping them so tightly his knuckles had gone white. Yes, Justice answered, taking a step back. Tell me everything. Anything you saw might help us find those who are responsible, Damocles insisted. Justice looked to Nightingale and saw that she had the same hopeful look as Damocles. Look, I can take you there, to where they might be hiding in your minds. But you need to let me go if I do. You're not in a position to make demands, Damocles glowered at her through the bars. Share what you know, and I'll ask for leniency for you. It's more than generous. No, Justice shook her head. They tried to kill me. I was only defending myself. I didn't mean to cause so much destruction. So here's my counteroffer. You get me out, and I'll help both of you. First, I lead you to the one who commanded those blighted guardians. Then I'll take you to the only person I know that can help with the Maluma. Damocles scowled but said nothing. Do you swear on your life? Nightingale asked. On my life, Justice replied.
All right. New party member.
Is it fucking sword of Damocles over here.
It's not. It's her.
Oh, Justice.
Justice Bocard. Reveal hidden cards. 19 to access Justice Bocard. Initiative card, story item, and adventure cards. Justice gains the Book of Theodosian story item. This story item is a double-sided and may be equipped as either a relic or a weapon.
Nice.
So that was her initiative card. Justice joins the party with the uncommon armor. So uncommon armor. The Marbus threads. That's weapons, so that's pretty cool. That I was looking. Okay, so she has 2 things. Okay, so probably should look for armor. Green. Uncommon armor. Okay, so she has Marbus threads.
Extra movement.
And then the uncommon relic, anal beads of Ebon Rule. Collar of Ebon Rule.
Dude, you'd like this shit for
him.
For him, that fucking extra flanking damage.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't even look at armor. Okay. Justice joins the party with, uncommon armor, Marbus threads, the uncommon relic, collar of the Ebon Rule, and 50 gold. If Marbus threads or the collar of Ebon Rule are not available, she joins with a random uncommon armor. Then Justice gains XP equal to the total XP earned by the party so far. Then she may learn any disciplines she has enough XP for. So how much XP have we acquired over time?
Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 6, 7, 7, 5. Let's see here. 12 plus 7, 19.
So she's at 19
19, 21.
21.
21 XP.
Okay.
For the whole game.
For Rook. Okay, yeah.
I mean, we're all the same.
We haven't ever gotten like extra XP elsewhere.
Not for like specific people, I don't believe.
Okay, so mine is different then, because I'm at 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18.
And you have a lot of extra bank, though.
18, oh yeah, plus 1, 19, 20, 21, 20. I have 22 then. So 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, wait, you gave me an extra one?
9,
so I have
10,
3
11.
banked right now, so it'd be 22 as well.
Oh, okay.
I didn't count the latest one, I just had.
Okay. So, she has the collar of the Ebon Rule that says passive, if you do not have the heavy tag, gain plus 1 armor. And, okay, so record all this information on the adventure sheet. From this point forward, players may choose to play as Justice using her adventure card. Players are still limited to 4 adventurers on the active group.
She's just another player.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. So, it's possible to have more than 4 party members. In these cases, players may only choose 4 to be considered part of their active group. However, players may trade out their active group when instructed to do so, usually during story rounds. Sometimes adventurers will narratively split up or otherwise forcibly be used. We strongly recommend keeping all of your adventurers properly geared out, even when they aren't chosen as part of the active group.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense of why there's more options here.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad we got new characters.
Yeah, so
badass.
Justice is right here.
So like since she's another player, like we could just swap this in and out with other people then if we wanted to.
Yeah,
Cool.
we absolutely could. And she currently has 22 XP.
Oh shit. What do we want to put her in?
I don't
We'll make her
know.
good at. She could be our assemblage mage if we want.
True. Yeah, so what do her items do?
So we have her Marbus threads. So no armor, 9 health. Extra
plus 9 health.
Plus 9 health.
Wow.
And then plus 1 movement. Exhaust. Dodge. If you successfully dodge, counter. Passive. When making a dodge, if it's not a skull, you get plus 1 to the result. Ignore the first break attack you would provoke each turn.
Wow. That's really
Gain plus 2 physical damage while flanking.
Whew.
So that stacks with backstabbing.
Yeah, wow. That'd be, 5 physical damage?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's gnarly. The Book of Theodosian. Spellcraft. Giant Tome. Double. Justice only. Justice only. Passive. Casting is a lime. It's a green. Exhaust. Spend 2 stamina to add the same amount of energy tokens to this card limit 2. While this weapon is equipped, you may spend these energy tokens as if they were stamina points. Flip. As a relic. Per encounter, place an energy token on an unoccupied space within SOI. When you end your turn, remove this token and warp to the space it occupied.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Her Caller of the Evan Rule. Passive. If you do not have the heavy tag, gain armor +1. So it gives her 1 armor, an additional 9 health, total 21 health, 7 movement. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Okay.
Oh, and then her unique ability is Temporal Cavitation. So, essentially, it's a big-ass AoE casting dice worth of magic damage. It affects everybody, but she rolls separately for each individual.
Okay. Wow. Well, interesting. So, I'm just kind of looking for uncommon.
Cool, so we can level her out. That's fucking sweet.
Yeah. That is... These are cores. Okay, uncommon cores. So yeah, then we go to the next story round, Hyde Exploration. So that's what it means by the same, because now we have a different story round, but still within Hyde.
Oh, okay.
So this is where a new thing will come in. Okay, well that was that section. Gearing up to see what happens in Hyde. Yeah, that's intriguing. And yeah, I guess stick around to see what we do with Justice and what is happening, because we finally have someone who can help us with Theodosian stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, stick around for the rest of the series. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.